The cruise industry is constantly changing, constantly looking for new ways to entertain guests, to have a good time, to do all sorts of fun things, and while they're testing the waters, they have the opportunity to kind of try different things. Because of all the shutdowns that happened, they tried something that's worked pretty well for them for a little while. You may recall in the past, in these different cruise ships, we would go and dine at the buffet. Windjammers or at Cabanas, wherever we were, all over these different ships, and even more of the different cruise lines. You would go, you would usually washy-washy or wash your hands or whatever they told you to do beforehand. Sometimes they'd enforce it, sometimes less so. There was usually a person there, but not really enforcing. Nowadays it's changed quite a bit, but back then you'd go to the buffet and everyone would just kind of serve themselves. And it was an okay process. But the reality is that in the past, and this is prior to all the shutdowns, neurovirus would happen on board different cruise ships. And that is just kind of how, the way we kind of saw things cruising. You kind of got that on board. So many people in a tight space, things are transmissible, totally got it. With this shutdown and changes, they've changed all their policies and, in my opinion, made cruising so much safer. I'm not talking about the destinations or the guidance of the ship, I'm talking on board. From the HEPA filters to the way the buffet works, they've changed so much about cruising. I personally believe, and I don't have any evidence to this, it's just Michael's opinion for a minute, I think that because of these changes that have been instituted, because of the shutdown, we're going to see less of the neurovirus, as a good other example, on board cruise ships in the future. It makes a lot of sense, right? You got the different HEPA filters, but the bigger piece that I wanted to get to today was the buffet, right? In the past, we go to the buffet, wash your hands, sometimes don't, and everybody serves themselves. That's, I don't know how many hundred people touching the exact same, tongs to grab their French toast. French toast is great, I'm all about it, or their bread. And another friend was saying that, they saw guests like actually touch the bread. It's one of those things where you say to yourselves, okay, looking backwards, because hindsight's 2020, you say to yourself, okay, maybe that was not a good idea on a very close, quarters ship, and the new strategy is so much better. I personally believe that this the actual cast members or crew members, they do the serving for you, and the guests do not touch any of the food that's not theirs at all, or even the plate until, it's the end, is a fantastic idea, and I hope never goes away. This idea is actually so popular among cruise guests that when Royal Caribbean had there was apparently one day on one of their ships where they were for some reason not able to have the crew serving the guests food, and they for one day went back to guests serving themselves. There was such an outcry that they changed gears real quick and they said, no, it's the crew's gonna serve you, it's totally fine. And no matter the reason for that, whether it was something that happened, they couldn't have the crew member there, or all the crew members there, or this was a simple test, no matter what, knowing that they kind of reversed course real quick just to make sure the guests were happy is a great sign. I'm not against them trying these things, but hearing that the guests say, you know what, no, let's have the crew there serving us is worth it. Now, the question becomes, is this economical for the cruise ships? Maybe they're gonna lose a little bit more money because the crew have to be working at different times. It could vary, but I 100% believe this is worth it. And if you're asking me, if I'm gonna choose a cruise ship, let's just take two random cruise ships, two random cruise lines, I'm not even gonna name them, just A and B. And A cruise line has you grabbing your own food and touching all the bread. B cruise line has the crew member serving you. I'm just more likely to go on B, just as someone who wants to get more into cruising, just because of that. Because from what we've experienced on board, yeah, the illnesses move around and travel and viruses, yeah, we got it. But this is a big leap towards preventing all of that now and in the future. Over the next few months and perhaps years, we're going to see the cruise industry continue to ramp the things that we know and love back. Whether it's seeing the laser tag on Royal Caribbean or meeting those characters on board, we're going to see more and more of it. But this one change, the buffet, I think is something that needs to stay, absolutely stay, because it's, number one, in the best interest of the guests, and I think it has a tremendous impact on whether or not a guest wants to go back again and again. And let's also take this into consideration. If a guest gets sick with a neurovirus, just as an example, not anything else, just neuro, which we've had for many years, it's almost considered standard on cruise ships. Are they more likely to go back on a cruise ship again, or is it more likely they're going to be like, you know what, I got sick last time with neuro, it's something we've heard about before, I'm going to go and try something else, right? If the cruise industry can prevent that by doing this one thing, I think that it's in their best interest as well, right? You got guests coming back because they didn't get sick on board. That to me is huge, and I hope that all the cruise lines, all of them, continue to have the buffet served by the crew. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you think that having the crew serve you in the buffets is such a motivating factor for you that you would say, you know what, I'm going to choose this cruise line over that one because of that one simple fact? Or is that not really in the calculations for you? Let me know in the comments below. Love to hear from you. Thanks so much for being a part of the magic with me today. Until next time, have a magical day.